Okay guys, let's talk about the chapter of measurements, and here we're going to talk about the, the TICS 3.6, and today's lesson is three-dimensional figures. We're going to talk about cones, cylinders, sphere, rectangle and triangular prisms, and cubes. And we will discuss some of the attributes of these geometric shapes. So the first one, let's talk about the face or the base. So what is a base or what is a face? And then so this right here, I'm going to take an highlighter. So right here, this is the base, and you can call it a flat face. Whereas cylinder, the cone, so cylinder has two flat faces. So let's see what another picture has two flat faces. That's a triangular prism has two flat faces, whereas this rectangular prism also has two flat faces, and these faces could be square, but we still call them a rectangular prism. And then this one is a square prism, but we call it a cube. So the base and the face is kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. The base is when it's sitting on it, it's called base, and the faces could be the faces on the side. And also the bases are which are parallel to each other. Faces does not have to be parallel to each other. So here this face or the base is parallel to this base, so we call them bases. Similarly, this is parallel to this base, so we call them bases. And similarly, this one is so they are parallel, so those are the bases. Whereas cylinder has a two bases and they are circular, and cone has only one base and that is circular. Whereas the body sphere has no base. It does have a curved face but no flat base. So these are the bases of these. And now let's talk about the vertices or vertex. So here it only cone has only one vertex, cylinder has no vertex, whereas the triangular prism has six vertices. Same is our rectangular prism has eight vertices. Cube also has eight vertices. So vertices are basically the point where the edges are intersecting, and these lines are called edges. So we talk about edges, and so bases, faces, vertex, and edges are few properties you need to know when you are talking about these geometric shapes. To very clear, cylinder has two bases, uh, triangle prism has two bases, rectangle prism has two bases, and a cube has two bases, whereas the cone has one base and sphere has no base. So let's keep going. So I have another definition here. Three-dimensional figure is the one which has basically um, length, width, and height. Let me erase that. I'm going to highlight. So it's length, width, and height. So all the shapes I showed on the top have length, width, and height, and they are called three-dimensional figures because they are three dimensions. So dimension length is a dimension, width is a dimension, and height is a dimension. So basically it's as compared to 2D, two-dimensional are only two, um, like a rectangle has only length and it only has width. So rectangle has only length and width. So if it has length and it has width, I don't know why it's doing that, but it has length and width. So when it has length and width, so that is only two-dimensional. If we add height to it, it becomes three-dimensional. Okay, so we're moving on. I have some shapes for you to see different names. So here we have a rectangular prism. So there's a little wooden shape on the side, and there is a geometric shape on the right. So you can see rectangular prism, cube, sphere, cone, cylinder, and a triangular prism. So this would be the base, which is same at the bottom. This would be the base, which is same at the bottom. This is the base is same at the bottom, and then This is a circular base at the bottom, whereas cone only has one circular base, which is at the bottom. Okay, so we're moving on to next piece. I have some pictures here. I took it from some art from online, and here the picture. Let's go to the sapphire. So here we got a sapphire, and that is basically looks like a tomato, or it looks like a ball, or looks like a balloon. Okay, so let's so always remember to look around objects around you. So then another one we have is a rectangular prism. So it looks like a little small home aquarium, then a bag, a rolling bag, or a book or a box. So it can be a book or a box. So those are the few pictures, and then we can go to triangular prism here. Triangular prism is almost looks like a house, with the top of the house which is triangle, and that triangle is basically, if it's in the front, is in the back, so we can call it triangular prism. Or this little swing set here has a triangle on both sides, so that is kind of a triangular prism. So let me see if I'll draw this. So, that is a, that looks like a triangular prism, or a tent. The tent could be a triangular prism. So basically, if you connect the sides, it looks like a triangular prism. Then we come down to pyramid was not part of the lesson. So we have a cylinder, and cylinder is like a cup, right? Or a wine cask, or a roll of something, a bread or a drum. Similarly, when you come to the cones, let me pick another nice color for cone. Cone is like ice cream cone, or cone, the little playing objects of the kids when we stack them in order, or a carrot can look like a cone. So basically, cone has the property of the cone is it has one vertex and has a little base. Same thing, ice cream cone has a vertex and a base. So carrot also you can consider as a base and a vertex. So last one is the cube, which is like a simply a box or a house, which is all equal length, width, and height, and or a gift box could be a good example of a cube. So let's go to some of the star question problems. So this is the star question problems, and here we have a group X and group Y, and all we need to tell that which group matches this answer choice. So if you look at answer choice F, it's saying that let me erase it. So F, it's talking about group X has cylinders, whereas there is only one cylinder in the picture. So they're not, all are not cylinders. So that's out. Question choice G says X has cones. We only have one of this is a cone, so rest is a cylinder. So here we is a cylinder. So this is a cone, and this is a sphere. And kids, if you write this, then it'd be better for you to remember. And the next one we have group Y has all prisms. So cube is a prism, and triangular prism is a prism, and rectangular prism is a prism. So answer choice would be Y. But also let's look at J. All figures in Y are rectangular prisms, and that's not true because this is the only one is a rectangular prism. So this is the only one rectangular prism. So keep that in mind. So let's keep going. One more question. Here we have question number 9, and this is talking about which list shows the correct way of grouping these figures. So this is talking about, is saying two prisms. So we have prism, this is a prism, this is a prism, and we can call the cube also a prism. but also a cylinder could be prism. So talk about it says one cone. So there's a one cone. I talk about two cylinders. So we got two cylinders. Then we do not have a sphere in this picture, so it's out. We do not have cones in this picture, so it's out. And then we have one pyramid, and we do not have a pyramid in this picture, is out. So we have three prisms, one cone and one cylinder, so answer is B. So I hope you guys understood and learned some of the properties of 3D shapes and pictures. I hope you keep working on it and keep learning. Give me some feedback, and we'll see.